Hello, friends, neighbors, and tiny delicious-looking humans! Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. This is the World of Dragons podcast, the podcast where 2.5 dragons discover, discuss, and review dragon-centric media, such as books, games, TV shows, movies, to help you dragon fans find the next world you wish to visit. I am Ray, also sometimes known as Abyss, the sea dragon.
I am Dilatan, sometimes known as Dilatan.
sometimes known as the Dragon of the Bed.
I can still hear it calling to me.
And I am Bantam the Half Dragon, and I am the dragon of video games and media being better than books.
No, you're the dragon of TV and movies. I'm video games. Otherwise, I got nothing.
All right,
you have nothing.
Fine. TV and videos. TV and movies. That's me.
All right.
But yeah, I only point out this sometimes known as Abyss because there have been a few episodes where I introduce myself as that because depending on the world we review, I'm like, we should have dragon names that fit this world. And I'm like, I don't know if we ever came up with Lazy Scales names for ourselves.
No. I think we never actually discussed that, to be honest.
No, and I feel like that's a great sin that we need to rectify, especially before we do the interview.
Yeah. Because I did really like the name Jury Rig. I think that's like a really cute name. So I actually remember I was trying to decide what my Lazy Scales name would be. And I will actually have to think about it because I don't want it to just be like, so I am going to put some thought into it.
I think I would just go the same route as I did for Golden Treasure and have the admittedly possibly edgelord cringe. I'd just be known as Dark Abyss.
Cringe.
It's not that cringe though.
It's not that bad.
It's slightly cringe.
You cringe too easily though.
This is true.
Dilatan's name would be Chicken Heart.
Yeah.
Okay, listen. I'm trying to combine chicken with something.
Chicken Bite. Chicken Bite.
Chicken Wing.
Chicken. No. Okay, both of those sound pathetic. Everything with chicken actually sounds pathetic. Okay.
Chicken Fry.
It's because chickens are pathetic creatures.
No, they're not.
No, listen. Chickens are hardcore murderers. You don't mess with a chicken. As a matter of fact, listen. I'm going to try to fight mosquitoes. I'm going to put a chicken on my shoulder.
So here's the weird thing. Okay, I've seen a couple of videos of people being chased by chickens, going like ah, and like there's the one time when Dilatan sent the picture of like there's this chicken guarding my pathway. I can't.
It was a rooster. He was ready to fight.
The thing is, it's like I'm just sitting there thinking like I could strangle that chicken.
Yeah, you could.
Do you know how high their legs can go? You know how sharp their claws can get?
There's a video that someone had sent me where a falcon pounced on a chicken, and the other chicken swarmed it and pecked and kicked and killed the hawk or falcon or whatever the fuck it was, and they tore it apart.
I think I could fight at least 15 chickens.
Yeah, listen, you don't fight chickens.
I mean, there was also another video I saw where there was a horse in a field and a chicken was harassing it and the horse kept trying to step on it and kicked it a couple times and the chicken just kept coming back for more until the owner came running out and was like, all right, that's enough.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Zelda? Like, if you kill enough chickens, then you just get swarmed and die?
Yeah,
that's what's going to happen to you.
I don't know if you'd die, but you'd be in a lot of pain because their spurs can hurt.
Right, but I mean, I'd still win.
No, you won't.
Yeah, you'd just be in a lot of pain. Anyway, on the top of the show, do you want to read the email that we got?
Yeah, because I asked you guys, and I don't think Dilatan understood the question.
You said do it at the beginning or the end, and I said the beginning.
I did not say the end. That is not exactly what I did not say. I said, do we want to basically answer them as we get them? So we would answer those two questions now, or do we want to just like file it away, save it up until we have enough to where we could just do another episode of nothing but questions?
No, because we can always send out the pulse and be like, hey guys, we're doing our 2-year anniversary. Send us more questions.
Right, I agree. And like this guy sends an email and putting him on hold would be kind of like douchey. I kind of get that, but it's like considering our format is very listen to the episodes that interest you. It's like, what if nobody listens to this episode and so no one ever gets to hear the questions?
It's a better service to do it when they finally send it in rather than just waiting to do a whole episode.
Okay. Yeah, only because like there was a podcast I used to listen to where I sent in a donation and he read it off with a note, and he read the note on the next episode, and I was so excited because I knew he was going to.
Okay, no, that's fair. I just wanted your opinions, but no, I agree completely. So go ahead and read the email.
All right.
We got an email, and I'm so happy.
Yeah, and this one wasn't like, please, for the love of God. This was just, and I think this person is a couple episodes behind. I'm going to use your first name. I apologize. From going forward, if you're going to send an email into the show, if you don't mind us using your first name or your display name.
We will use the name that's attached to the email, like what Google automatically says. This email is from so-and-so.
We're not going to give the full name.
If you'd rather use a different name, like an online screen name, or not use a name at all, please let us know.
Yeah.
But if you don't say anything, we're going to assume it's okay to use that.
So this email comes from Drew. And he says, listening to the Dragon Goes House Hunting episode and heard you guys like emails. So here's a couple questions for all three of you. So here's the first question. Who is your favorite dragon in media and why?
I want to quickly interject. Yes, I love emails. I love emails because I like interacting with the fans. I feel like out of the three of us, I'm the most active on the Discord.
Yeah.
Maybe. When I feel like it. There's some days I'm like, I have no energy. But yeah, I love the interaction. That's why I love emails so much. So please send them. But yeah, who is our favorite dragon from media?
Yes.
I'm going to assume media includes books because that's kind of what we included.
Books,
for
movies,
the sake of the show.
TV shows, video games, yeah.
Give me a minute to think. Dilettante can go first because I think I know what his is.
Do you take a guess? And if you say Draco, you're going to be wrong, sir.
Then it's Smaug.
Also wrong, but he was close second.
Okay.
You have a third boyfriend.
Well, keep in mind it says who is your favorite dragon and why.
Draco and Smaug, they have their qualities, but my favorite shifts every now and then depending on what mood, and I have been in a very huge Spyro mood lately. I have been playing the Reignited trilogy off and on for...
Oh, okay. So not Malfoy then, or Ignitus, because they weren't in the Reignited.
Words? Actually, I have no idea.
They're from the Legend Spyro, which is when they kind of redid the whole lore.
Oh yeah, that's the one that got really dark.
Yeah, it's the superior Spyro.
No, I kind of like the campy, cartoonish, just
wackiness
I get it. Of the first three.
It is real fun. I like the first Spyro, but it's just as far as storyline and lore goes, the Legend of Spyro is much better.
I guess, but no, the Reignited trilogy, the first two, the third got really ridiculous, and I've got some spicy takes on that one. If we ever do an episode, I will shit all over that one. But the first two, Spyro, that's probably my go-to.
So you're was that you answering the question?
Maybe. Hold on, let me read. A favorite dragon?
Yeah.
Is Spyro himself your favorite dragon?
The universe of Spyro is my favorite universe right now. That's what I'm currently in. My favorite dragon, I'm going to have to go with...
Bubba.
Not Bubba. No, I'm...
Magnus? Magnus was the big fat one, right?
There were two in the desert. It was one that talked about eating the vultures, said they were a tasty snack. I can't remember what his name was.
I don't remember what their dialogue was, but I'm pretty sure it was Magnus.
The people who are listening, you know who I'm talking about.
I'm going to send you a picture. Is it this guy?
No, that is...
Because that's Magnus.
Yeah, Magnus is not who I'm thinking of. He looks like Magnus. He's got the body shape of Magnus, but he talks about eating the vultures, and he's the one that I'm, currently my favorite.
We should do a bonus video episode just for the
It would have to be
Smash
videos we can have images with
video so that we do
a
tier. Well, I don't think Smash or Pass. I think we should do a tier list of the dragons from just the Spyro game.
Yeah, we should just rate the dragon dads.
Yep, we each have our own little tier lists going, and then we compare them.
Would we each have our own, or would we have to agree on one for the show?
No, we each have our own.
We each have our own.
That feels like a lot.
Whatever. Anyway, so that's... Is it my turn?
Yeah.
All right. Hands down, Long from Wish Dragon.
Of course.
And the reason why is because he...
No personal space.
No personal space. I like things that are more serpentine. And he looks so fucking huggably soft. Ignoring even his personality I could get used to with everything else. But yeah, Long from Wish Dragon, absolute favorite dragon so far in any media that I've ever encountered. The silence leads me to believe that I'm going to be judged.
No, the silence is me trying to finalize my pick of favorite.
Oh.
Similar to Dilettante, I have a really hard time with favorites because
the favorite shifts as whatever mood you're in.
I'm a very wishy-washy person. I think I explained on the anniversary episode how I have a hard time sticking with things. This means playing video games or writing stories, I have a hard time sticking just because as my interests shift, I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go do this new thing. So for the same reason, picking a favorite is hard. So I'm trying to think like overall, my most favorite for like the average generic mood would probably be. Damn, it's actually hard. I'm just gonna have to say Darkstalker from Wings of Fire.
Of course.
What do you mean? You don't even know who that is. You haven't read those books.
It's from Wings of Fire. Of course.
That's fair, though. You're valid.
I am valid. And before people start going like, "What? But he's a genocidal maniac. How can you like him?" I'm like, well, see, I just like villains. So
villains are pretty hot. Yeah. So the next question is, what piece of media do you think has the best depiction of dragons and why?
I guess unintentionally I answered my second question, but as far as like general depiction, like Spyro's got its own nice little quirks. Like I like just how colorful and fun it is. But as far as like my ideal depiction,
I don't know, not your ideal. What do you think has the best depiction of dragons? So that could even be things that you don't necessarily
I'm talking about like as far as like video games concerned, like close to my ideal depiction.
Oh.
And if we're talking depiction, that's general body shape and size. So I'm going to go with the Dragonheart universe.
All right, Ruby.
Are you going to go last this time?
I went last time too.
No, you didn't. I went last.
Well, okay. All right. Well, then in this case, my thoughts would probably be on what's the name of that movie? The post-apocalyptic Reign of Fire. Reign of Fire, probably.
Really?
I don't necessarily. All right, this is gonna lose me all the points with everybody. I don't care. I don't agree with dragons being hyper intelligent magical creatures. I believe that dragons would just be kind of a mutation of evolution, and so I would believe that they would be essentially mindless beasts with probably a hive mind mentality. They also would not have 4 legs and 2 wings. They would just have 2 legs and wings. So yeah, it would be Reign of Fire. The best.
I think we should see other people, Bantam.
The best depiction of dragons that I think is the most realistic, because that's the metric I'm going off of, is what is the most realistic, and that would be Reign of Fire.
You monster.
Yep. I eagerly await being canceled.
I'm already canceling you. We're done.
Dilettante can date me now.
And then I get to watch.
That's my thing.
My favorite, my ideal, my whatever verbiage he used. And this is actually like really sad. Like, it breaks my heart. But it would be the dragons from... Mark Secchia did a book series. The series was called Dragon Friend. And it was like, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 books long. I didn't finish it because I hated the series. I got to like the 4th or 5th book, and I couldn't go on any more. It was... I hated the direction it was going in. But the dragons in that universe, the culture they had, and the lore they had, and just all that was perfect. And so it just causes me so much pain. It's like eventually we'll read like 1 or 2 of his books before it starts going downhill, just so you guys can see the world building and the dragon lore. Mm-hmm. And you can suffer with me.
Can you imagine? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dilettante. You answer the question, then I'm going to tell you something funny that I just thought of.
I did.
Well, he already answered the question.
So can you imagine an author who has no life and can write an entire book in like a week, right? Imagine an author writes a book and it has amazing, perfect world. Like you want to be in this world, right? And it's all dragons and fantasy creatures, right? And you know how, because one of the biggest complaints I do hear from people all the time is I really liked this series, but it started going in a direction I didn't like. And that's why, me personally, I don't like book series. I like individual self-contained stories, so that when you're done with the book, you can go, well, I didn't really like that, but no, it's over. 2 books at maximum. However, imagine an author with no life who wrote so often that he wrote a book that was part 1. And then at the end of the book, it's like a super choose your own adventure. And it's like, if you think that the main character should do this, and then he writes 10 more books that are part 2 and gives them all different titles, subtitles, and then you go out to the store and buy that book and then read that one.
I see where you're going with this, and no, that's not a strength that the book medium has, that's something that you would have to do in video game form to have it be a choose your own adventure, a visual novel. That's the strength of that medium, and this is not something you can do.
No, I know it's not something, because it would require somebody with no life and like eating 20 years of their life away. Because he would write one book, then write 10 books that all spawn off of the first one, and then write 100 books, and it just a giant triangle. And that way the book ends exactly the way you want it to, because it's a choose your own adventure multi-book style.
Well, that's why when I ever write Dilettante story, it's just going to be one and done.
See, I want mine to be one and done. I don't want to establish a world, and I don't want to make new stuff in it. I don't because if I make a self-contained story, I don't want to have to think, okay, what new thing can happen? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the multi-book series in general. It's just the biggest complaint I hear from people who read books, Ray included, is I really loved this series, but around book 3, 4, 5, whatever, it went in a direction I didn't like, and I could no longer enjoy the story. And for a lot of people, that's a multi-year commitment that they made to this book series, waiting for the next one to come out, only to be bitterly disappointed. And
I wonder if it has something to do with like world fatigue.
Well, I mean,
No, it has to do with people just like different things. Like, I didn't like Dragon Friend. I'm sure lots of people did. And the way it ended was the best for them. Everyone just has different likes. And the beautiful thing about that means that I can now go and write my own story that uses dragons and follows a lot of the similar beats that Dragon Friend would, but then it deviates where I started to lose it. And it would be different enough that it could just be its own dragon story.
Yeah. Ray can use the parts of the book that made him upset and fix them. And it's not a insult to the original book. It's just, hey, I didn't like the way this happened, but you did a great job up until this point. Let me take it from here with my own book.
Let me take it from here.
You see, here's where you fucked up. But yeah, when I write my own book, it's going to be a one and done. The only exception to that for me was as others have heard in previous episodes, I did write a book at one point. It was like 700 pages. If I had it printed out in a normal book format, it probably would have been a very, very thick book. But the main character at the end of the thing lost all of his friends. He had defeated the bad guy, but then was abandoned. And the idea was that I was actually planning on writing a sequel where the good guy from the first book was now the villain. And it was going to be told from his point of view still, where he now had to systematically wipe out or stop the heroes. And it was never going to go to a third book. I knew for a fact that was never going to happen. But because the main character was scorned and left to die in the first book, he became twisted. And he became the villain of the second book.
Real fast, just another thank you to Bantam was his name. I suck with names.
Drew.
All right, so real quick, just another quick thank you to Drew for sending in the email. I love it, and I love you. You will be spared when the calling comes. And now we move on to Dragon News with Dilettante, his favorite segment.
Thank you for joining me for Dragon News. We now go live to Ray on the field. Ray, what do you got for us?
Thank you, Dilettante. This is Ray here. For what I got for Dragon News is a couple Kickstarters that went live a while ago, and they should still be up by the time you hear this, unless you're like, late to the party. Couple
Happy 2035, everybody.
Basically. But yeah, one that I've been watching has been my Steam wishlist for a while, and apparently they just launched a Kickstarter. Dragon's Wandering Tavern. Play as a dragon merchant in a cozy management RPG inspired by Studio Ghibli to befriend quirky creatures that will join you in your magical tavern, and together restore the Aldelight Forest. Cook delicious meals with the help of the Talking Cauldron, craft magical trinkets, and explore a mysterious, ever-changing forest to find out what secrets are hiding within. But yeah, the other one is Get a Cake, Gedda Cake, a 2D action platform Metroidvania about dragons and cakes. Play as 6 characters with unique skills and playstyles, swap between them on the fly, battle dangerous foes, and explore a vast sugar-coated lands of Sugria. Help them reclaim their invaded world and get the cake.
Yeah, cake.
Yeah.
I have minor tiny news. Glide the Dragon, which you can wishlist on Steam, is now getting merch. They just got their first piece of merch. It's a mug.
Honestly, how dare they release merch before the game?
I mean,
Yeah, really.
I mean, it's just a mug. It's a mug with the main character on it, and I think that's fine.
I don't know. Maybe I'll be swayed by getting a beta key.
Yeah, if we get a beta key,
If we have a beta key, we will officially start live streaming these.
That's why I figured when we do the Skyrim thing, doing it, like recording it for either streaming or YouTube, we're like, hey, the first step to actually starting to get keys, because we have an audience. Yay.
Now listen, here's what we'll do. We'll give face cams. If Glad gives us a key, we will get face cams. We will record this live,
No
and then
face
we'll
cams.
have 3 of their Glide mugs and camera view at all times.
No,
No,
I refuse face cam.
no face cam.
Well, remember the whole point of the show is supposed to be we were playing as dragons doing this, so it's like no face cams with human faces. No.
Okay. Sorry, Glad.
until we get 3D avatars and could do face rig.
And somehow have the mug in
The 3D Glide
3D
mugs.
Alright. That's my little bit of dragon. There's 2 Kickstarters that I was interested in that I'm like, hey, people, let's help out. But I don't think there's any like other actual news.
Me and Bantam are going to go alligator wrestling next week.
Yep.
That's some good news.
So yeah,
That's not news.
That's amazing news.
it's Dilettante's dragon and he's involved, so it's dragon news.
Exactly.
I will be going to Florida to visit Dilettant next week. I leave Thursday morning at midnight, so like literally Wednesday night, Thursday morning. Yeah, going to Florida. We're planning on hiking, which I'm excited to do. I haven't done that in many years, but you know, I'm gonna wrestle some wildlife, and
We actually are going near a trail where I have passed alligators sunning on the side of the road while I'm working, so there is a very high chance they'll actually be swimming in the river.
so I will be bringing a bunch of bungee cords,
Kidnap one.
Not
I just come back
literally.
from the trail in my backpack. There's just an alligator tail floating.
Yeah, and Dilettant's backpack will be full of snakes and spiders.
Wonderful. But yeah, that's why last episode and this episode were a bit delayed coming out to kind of like prepare for that.
Yeah,
But it shouldn't affect episodes moving forward. We'll be able to get back on track.
yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now done with Dragon News. Done with listener email. So this episode we're doing the 5th book in the Lazy Scales series.
Kindled flames.
Kindled Flame.
Flames.
Ugh, plural flames. Ugh. Kindled Flames by DM Gillmore. No, I never asked him if it's Gilmore or Gilmore, but I'm pretty sure it's Gilmore.
Gilmore is something I've heard pronounced. I feel like I had a neighbor named Gilmore once. Plus, nobody
I don't know.
pronounces the G.
I just like suddenly had this thought like, what if I've been saying it wrong the whole time?
But then you like saying GIF is GIF. The fuck's wrong with you? I've never heard the G sound like a J in my entire time of speaking English. I think you're right. Also, Ray,
Actually,
I've
that's
got
not
some
true.
bones to pick with you.
Gerrymander.
Oh.
Gesture.
It's up to the J.
No,
No, that starts
No.
with a G.
Hold on. I'm thinking of gesture, not gesture.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's fair.
Okay.
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 Take back that laugh, Ray.
No, I'm still gonna giggle.
Fuck you. But Ray, I do have some bones to pick with you about this book.
About
Because
this
after the ending of episode 4, I thought we were going to rescue Lewis's soul and all this other stuff.
Okay,
and talk
all right,
Last Hope and-
hold on. Before we get into that, we're probably not doing a spoiler break, are we?
No.
Because like we already reviewed the world. Like this is how
We're
the world.
5 books in. They
Yes,
gotta
the
know
point-
their spoilers.
The point is, we're not doing the normal like review stuff. Like tune into the episode where we did book 1 and 2 together for that. But I just wanted to, before we actually get into it, in case like the small % chance that this is the first episode someone listens to, we are going to be spoiling the book from this part out. If you want to hear us review the writing style and the world building, then go back a couple episodes to the one about Lazy Scales and Dull Teeth is the second one.
Yeah, dull teeth and broken horns.
What? Go back to the episode that says Lazy Scales and the second book. I keep forgetting what order they come out in.
Lazy Scales and... Fuck, what was this? The third one was Dull Teeth, I think.
Idle Claws.
Claws.
Okay. Let's go back to the episode where we did Lazy Scales and Idle Claws together. Because from this point out, spoilers. Alright, Dilettant, now repeat that because I'm going to cut out the first bit.
All right. Well, I have a bone to pick with you, sir. You said...
Why is the bone to pick with me? The bone should be with DM.
No. DM did tell me that Lewis' soul was going to be saved in the 5th book and all that other cool shit was going to happen. I feel like this entire book was just nothing but filler. I didn't really think anything got moved along.
To be fair, like, I love filler, so it might have been filler and I just didn't notice. Like, to a small tangent, Wings of Fire Book 14, a lot of fans hated because they thought it didn't go anywhere and it was just filler. And they're like, I still loved it. It was character building and I loved it. So you might be right, but I don't ever recall saying, we're going to go save Lewis now.
Yeah, you did. Last episode, you said book 5. Like, I remember it was like, is Lewis going to come back? And you said, like, yeah, I think the next book, they go into, like, the afterlife, or they do something to save Lewis' soul.
No, the rescue
you also
Lewis
said this was
in book 6. I may have mentioned in book 5 that we see the other aspect. I don't remember. I'll have to.
I don't remember seeing the aspect. Last episode. Yeah, and also you said that Moonshadow was going to be this fucking powerful Tom girl, whatever phrase you used. But anyway, she was going to be this all powerful, but that really didn't happen. The only thing that,
well, she's just passively all powerful.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot got started, but only like one thing got finished, and that was Rocktooth's arc, and that was it. Like, this wasn't really a Lazy Scales book. It was more sort of like he was there, but it was about everybody else's own little slice of life. But nothing really got contributed to the whole main plot. Nothing really changed.
So that is definitely I'm loath to use the word problem. A problem with the book series in general is a lot of it doesn't actually follow Lazy Scales. Like, even before in like book 2, 3, and I think even 4 a little bit, we saw a lot of stuff from Jeremy's point of view and quite a big handful from Becca's point of view. It's just like Lewis himself really did kick everything off, but he becomes more and more minor as the story progresses, and that has always been one of my complaints because I just love Lewis so much. But yeah, that's just something that happened. That's just the way he decided to tell the story.
I don't even complain about him being minor. Like, even book 2 or 3, he played a very a pivotal part, but this, it was just more so like this. I mean, I guess the point being is like, his soul's gone. He's just like this. He's a shadow of his former self. But I feel like this could have maybe been tacked on to book 6 in some way.
I don't know. So it's like this book was a lot of him dealing with leadership responsibilities and him trying to get the reserve kind of set up and functioning. And he did play a pretty big role. It's just maybe it's not what you were expecting. Were you expecting like more like hands-on like combat kind of stuff?
I was honestly expecting Lewis to return.
Because like before he had to fight the Dragon Slayers, and then he had to fight the Crone, and then he had to fight his ghost dad. So it's like maybe you were just expecting something a bit more high stakes.
I was expecting at the end of this book to be a very pivotal arc to lead to something more dramatic. Every single time a book has ended, there was always something major that would steer it into a new direction. But this, it just kind of, like, after book 4, this one did a 360, a small little loop around, like a little casual Sunday drive, and then got back on track towards book 6. It didn't really alter anything or nothing we haven't seen before.
So,
I mean, it definitely altered a lot, but a lot of it was very, like, minor, like, world-building things. Like, the big point of this book was to get the reserve stable.
Yeah, I want to defend the book in saying that, like, if every single book had super high stakes, it would be exhausting.
And I mean, you're allowed to like high stakes. Like, you can, like, this would definitely be, like, a tamer point in the story, which I loved because it focuses more on characters and politics and drama and that kind of stuff. Like, you're allowed to be like, no, I would rather go and fight all the demons in the spirit world and whatever. Like, you could, that's fine. But it's just like Bantam said, yes, you can't have it be full throttle all the time.
Yeah, I'm going to say a very, very minor short spoiler for Final Fantasy XIV, the MMO, so I'm going to skip forward 15 seconds. In the last expansion, you go to outer space and fight God. So it's like, okay, where do we go from here? And then at that point, the game is like, okay, we're going to scale back and we're going to go back to your roots. And
you're basically going on vacation.
You're going on vacation for the next expansion. So the next major expansion is literally going to return you to no longer being a warrior of light. You're now just an adventurer. And you're off discovering new things about the world. It's world building. It's very low key. And I think that's good. because you can only escalate so high before you need to scale stuff back and give the new bad guy a chance to build power and become a threat.
But here's what I'm saying. I understand, going back to your example of Final Fantasy, God's already dead. Okay, and you gotta but here's the problem I got with this book. There's already stakes established. It feels like it's just completely ignoring it.
Okay, I get your point.
Yeah, I do too.
So, we're at end of book 4, okay? Lewis is gone. Lazy Scales is Last Hope's in heaven after doing that weird dickish move. Dragons are being transformed everywhere. The stakes are pretty damn high, but nothing really gets addressed towards that till the very end of the epilogue.
I mean, there's a couple hints here and there throughout the whole story, but you're
even
right,
those hints still feel kind of like...
Yeah, his headaches.
Yeah, but that's it. It feels so drizzled, maybe the right word. It just didn't feel enough. After packing out the first 4, this one feels so light.
I guess, so in book 6, there are going to be a couple scenes that involve the crone, where Becca's talking to the crone about Lewis. And it's would you have felt better if some of those scenes were in book 5 as well, so that it was being at least addressed and we can't do anything yet, we have to XYZ first instead? And
I would have actually loved something like that.
It would have felt a bit less back burner at that rate.
It would have felt a little more in the crosshairs, but I felt like the whole Lewis...
At least we're acknowledging it.
Yeah, it felt like Lewis was just thrown out the fucking window. It's out in the... thrown in the shed with the rest of the stuff and dug out later. Lewis
the human definitely was thrown in the shed, but so book 4, out of the first 6, I like book 4 the least, and there's always going to be a least, so don't take that too harsh, Mr. Author. But one of the things I didn't like at the time of book 4 was the whole soul rip thing, because that was very mind control adjacent, because it completely changed how Lewis functioned and all of that. And so I had problems with that. But then after reading book 5, completely okay with it, because I actually I like the creature that he turned into. I like the way Lazy Scales acts in this book. I love it. So it's we don't need Lewis anymore. He can stay separated. That's fine.
I don't know, the way
it was not fine.
It was I miss Lewis.
I know, and this you can see with the headaches, that bad stuff is definitely happening. So it was not fine, but it's I like the way he's acting right now, though. He's acting like a proper dragon should. It was fun seeing him bumble about a human in a dragon body at the beginning. And it's they're both good. Okay. Right out the gates, guns blazing. Woof. A few hours before we recorded, DM sent me a private message saying he was looking forward to hearing us discuss the book on the show.
Oh man, just like when I tuned into the stream and he was excited about episode 4.
Yeah. Quick, Dilettante, say something nice.
You know what? Out of all the grabs, Shannon, best manager. 10 out of 10. I need her for my business, please. I just finished working 11 days straight. Okay, I'll be honest with you. A lot of this salt, I've had a very long work week preparing for this vacation because I had to make a lot of compromises to get this to even work. So this is my first day off in 11 days. I woke up at 4 a.m. because I've been waking up so damn early. So half of the salt is that, but another good bit of the salt is that Lewis was ignored, and I'm still going to feel salty about that.
Yeah, Dilettante's really wound up, needs a kobold massage.
I'm dehydrated from so much salt.
Maybe I just like salt.
Here, have some water.
Ugh, it's salt water.
I was gonna say it's salt water.
the other thing that I have mentioned to a couple people privately, and I think I mentioned on the Discord. It has been really, really hot here, and I haven't slept well in almost a week and a half. My landlord gave me a swamp cooler, which for those who don't live in the desert, swamp coolers are very primitive air conditioners, and it works, but it makes my room very sticky and wet. And
very humid.
Very humid, because it literally is just you fill a giant thing with water and it just blows fans over it. And so I have been kind of agitated myself and struggling with headaches and exhaustion and just frustration in general over the past couple weeks.
Yeah, Bantam lost a good noodle star.
Yeah, I did. This is the second time I have not been able to finish a book. It is not...
The first time was Tooth and Claw because you didn't like it. This was just a circumstances
contrived against me. Because I think I've defended myself before, so I won't get too deep into it. But yeah, it's I work full-time. When I get home from work, I have maybe 5 hours of free time, and 1 hour of that is just relaxing as soon as I get home and eating. And then I just, the thought of, do I read a book that I'm supposed to read, or do I play Skyrim, which is fun? And I'm not saying that this book is bad. It's just, to me, someone who loves video games, movies, and TV shows, it takes a lot more convincing to get me to pick up a book than it does to load up a video game.
When you try to read a book on a computer that has 100 games installed, it's very hard.
Well, I have the physical book, but the other thing is that I can't get comfortable. I only have the one chair, and it's in front of my computer. And it's like, so I either lay in bed, which makes me tired, or I sit at my computer and read, which I'll read like a chapter and be like, okay.
Next time I'm going to have to bring you to a library, and we just like sit in the reading nook and just read.
I mean, that would help. I'm not even joking. That would help. That would immediately be like, all right, yeah. I mean, I'm here in the reading land to read.
Reading land. Welcome to my kingdom.
And to get a little bit more nerdy about Skyrim, I actually asked Ray the other day at work. I was like, if you could follow one of the Daedric lords, who would it be? And, you know, who'd you say, Hircine?
I said Hircine's the only one I know.
Oh, it's the only one
like Hircine, god of the... Also, it's just god of the hunt.
And for me, it would actually be Hermaeus Mora. Like, literally his realm, full of endless books. Listen, we don't need to get into other reasons why I like Hermaeus Mora. But his Daedric realm, because they each have their own little realm, is literally just endless bookcases with all the accumulated knowledge of the universe. And it's like, I would love that. Because theoretically, according to the lore, any book you can possibly imagine, it's in there. It's like, I don't hate books. It's just when you're given,
there are better things.
When you're given when you're given the option between a staircase that goes up toward a book and a slide that goes down toward a video game, it's a lot easier when you're tired.
What if it's a staircase going up to the video game and a slide going down to the book?
I guess I gotta start.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I would take the stairs.
I would probably take the stairs.
You guys are assholes.
No.
Wait, this is why audiobooks are like the greatest thing.
They really are.
They really are.
And to be fair, to DM, it's like it's not that the book is. It's like we got into it like when he was like all excited and he was like, book 3 is getting an audio version. I'm like, yeah, but we're already on book 4. Like, can you pick? I need a reader kobold. I need a kobold to live with me that just reads stories to me.
You can't have mine.
I can't have. Dude, I can't have yours.
You cannot.
Oh, okay.
There's a universe out there somewhere where we just get in Discord call and I just read the book to you guys. All right. Okay. Anyway, so we're still gonna bother bantering about his opinions on things, but it's gonna require a bit more explaining for his sake. But yeah. To start going over my notes, if Dilettant's assault is done.
I'm still brushing it off the desk, but so far, yeah, the assault's pretty much over with.
No, assault, like an attack.
For now, I'm preparing my offensive for certain topics. Let's go down the list.
All right, so my first note is, this book is my favorite, you guys. Holy shit.
Aha.
This is my favorite of the first 6. I haven't read the next series. I just recently finished book 7, but I'm like still working on the other ones, so whatever. But yeah, this is my favorite. Again, I guess I just like filler. I like the characters. I like the character interactions, and it's good shit all around. Just want to throw that out there. Then, so these notes are in order of how they pop up in the book. So first thing is Aurora, the character Aurora.
This assault's piling back up.
I'm 95% sure she's trans, which I guess isn't super important because it doesn't affect her character at all.
How do you know she's... What gives that away?
In the prologue, the mom and dad are fighting about one of their kids, and they use the pronoun, and the dad uses the pronouns he. It's your fault he's like this, blah, 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 right?
Uh-huh.
And while they do have a little son, the son seems to be just fine, and it seems to be the daughter who is having such distress that she was planning on running away. But Aurora refers to herself as her, both before and after the transformation.
Okay, but
that's my first hint. My second hint is when she has to choose her dragon name. She's like, well, it's not a dragon name, but I've been going by Aurora for a while. It's not the name I was assigned at birth.
Yeah, that sounds like
But to counteract your first point, Aurora arriving at the dragon enclosure, fucking shoved into a trailer. Her dad doesn't seem like he gives a shit, would not really care about pronouns that well. Or that much.
Yeah, that's the weird thing about us, because especially right in those scenes, he refers to her as a she, which is weird, because if he really did have such a problem with it, like, in fact would blame his wife on Aurora turning out the way she did, I feel like he would still be using he pronouns just out of disrespect or whatever. But it's like, I don't know. It's not super important. I just took notice of it because, funny chain of events, before I read this book the first time, I was making a new D&D character for my Tuesday game, and I was going to get to play a dragon, with the caveat that I couldn't be a full dragon to start. It was going to be like this weird transformation thing, kind of similar to lycanthropy, where I could become a dragon for short bursts of time, but then as we gained levels to keep my strength in check with just the party, it would slowly become more permanent, and I would eventually become large size and then even huge size and all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I made to start out a dragonborn character who wanted to be a dragon for whatever reason, and eventually would become a white dragon. I also, at the same time, decided to make it to where he was a he, but then as he transformed, he became a she, because part of the backstory was he found another dragon that he fell in love with, and he wanted to be with them and wanted to be able to bear young and all that, so was going to become a she. The name that I gave the character after the transformation was Aurora, so it was a white trans dragon character. And then I read this book, and there's a white trans dragon character named Aurora. And I'm like, what are the fucking chances of that? Holy shit. I realized you wrote this book like years ago, but get out of my fucking head.
I'm going to ask Mr. Gilmore about this, because this seems like a lot of circumstantial evidence.
Yeah. Whatever. It's just, if that's the case, it's a funny story, and I just like, hey, it's just kind of funny that we both have the same idea for a dragon named Aurora, right?
Right.
But whatever. It's just, I don't know. I thought it was fun.
It is.
You're fun.
You're fun.
My next note is about the brother specifically, Aurora's little brother, David. I wish we saw more of him, because like he's also in a bad household, and he had a little plush dragon which was adorable. And it's like he should have either turned to a dragon too, just to get away, or like basically just goes and lives with. I realize he can't live with Aurora and the other dragons because dangerous, humans smell tasty and all that. But it's like, would that not have been like a good story on its own? Just two kids, one gets turned into a dragon, and they take that as an opportunity to just run away from home because the parents are abusive or something.
I mean, yeah.
It's like that's a decent dragon rider story right there.
That actually would have been a much better plot line.
Like, what are you going to stop us?
And then, like, eventually the kid gets sick because, humans aren't meant to live out in the wild like that, and dragons got to go back to, like, civilization to take care of the younger brother or something. I don't know.
Actually, wait, she ran away, then turned into a dragon. How did the parents find her?
No. She was in the process of running away and then fainted because of the spell before she could leave the house. But she, like, had her backpack and was in the living room and everything.
Okay.
One of the quotes from the book, do you think they'll make dragon-sized phones now that there are more dragons? It's like, I just love that imagery. Just a giant dragon with a giant cell phone.
I mean, making technology scaled up for something is very possible. It's scaling down that's hard. Mm-hmm. Like if...
It's definitely more expensive to scale it up, though, because you use more materials, though. And in this universe, dragons don't have jobs and money and whatever, so...
No, that's not necessarily... I mean, the screen would have to be bigger, sure, but the hardware on it would not be... more intensive. Or I know that a couple years ago they started releasing smartphones that had built-in projectors, so you could just put the phone on a table, point it at a wall, and it would project whatever. But they weren't more expensive. It's just there was a disabled person who really wanted to play Xbox, and people designed a gigantic coffee table size controller for them. It just requires a lot more wire, but the hardware itself.
For a dragon phone, though, the main problem is reinforcing it. Could you imagine
considering they're like ripping apart trailers and pulling metal collars off like as if it was nothing? It's like, how many phones are they going to break in accident?
Now I'm picturing. You feel free to cut this, but now I'm picturing like those really creepy lady super long fingernails, where you watch them try to play with a phone or put in their PIN number in an ATM. But they got 2-inch long fucking nails, and they're like, ugh.
Try to tap on a screen with your claws.
Well, you wouldn't be able to use the claws. It would have to be the pad of the finger because that's where the
We should ask DM if the claws are retractable like a cat, or if they're like just always out there.
I think they're always out there.
Like, would they get in the way of a touchscreen? The dragons that want to have phones have to shave off the claw of one finger so they can use
looking
it.
at the cover art for Kindled Flames. There's absolutely no way those retract.
They're based, their DNA is not reptilian, but more akin to birds or avians, correct? As far as last couple said, they can't retract
they're
their
their
claws.
own genus. Yeah, they're their own genus who are the closer to avians than they are to reptiles, but they're not avians.
Okay, but even if they're like closer to one or the other, neither can retract their claws.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just maybe, but yeah, they apparently you just got to remove the claw off one finger and then they can use phones. Tap tap tap.
Fucking Lazy Scales would lose his shit. I imagine, and like not Lewis, but Lazy Scales trying to use a phone would be like an old grandmother just like trying to like throw their finger 50 miles into the air trying to get it to swipe.
Yeah, and okay, so like in general, Tricenix, one of our devoted listeners, mentioned that he didn't like this book because it made him cringe, like dilettante style. Like it was very awkward for him. I guess Lazy Scales not knowing things about human life and like not knowing certain words, like when people are trying to explain to him what a rock concert is, he's like, what? And it's like, I think that's adorable. And so like the image of a dragon who has no memory of using a phone because either he's natural born or in Lewis's case soul whip, whatever, but it's just sitting there looking at this metal thing in his hand as all the other dragons are just like tap 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 tap, and he's like, what the fuck is this? Sniffs at it. It's like, how is that not a fun mental image?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Why no?
I like the thought of dragons with like
technology,
clothes. Like as much as I don't normally like dragons with clothes, if they are in this universe, I think it would look great.
No phones, no technology, just living in the moment.
Living in caves.
Dilettante's a back to earth dragon.
Boomer dragon.
Living in caves with a box of scrap.
Let's talk about scrap. Jury Rig has started holding scrap metal, and it's the most adorable thing in the world.
The Destroy trailer.
Yeah, so Bantam, at one point, Lazy Scales, we have to actually say Lazy Scales now because Lewis is dead. Lazy Scales ends up ripping apart the trailer that the abusive parents brought Aurora in, and it's just a hunk of metal on the floor. And he kind of verbally chases away the parents, and then just bringing Aurora back to the cave to show her around. And then Jury Rig kind of creeps out and starts playing with the broken scrap on the floor. and then in a different scene, he's sleeping curled up on top of a pile of it.
Yeah.
So he started hoarding scrap metal, and it's adorable as fuck.
I'm surprised Lazy Skills didn't say anything. Last Hope was absolutely against every single aspect of the dragon hoarding instinct. Because all that's going to do is make Jury Rig want to fight any other dragon he becomes close to his pile of rust.
But again, that's not a desirable pile to go near, so it's like, okay, have at it.
Yeah.
The idea being is like, the reason why Lazy Scales hoarding people or his friends was a problem was because now if anyone approached those people who are, humans are very social creatures, they're going to be around other people, that could be a problem. Hoarding gold is desirable, people are going to be constantly wanting to take it, but shredded scrap metal, like I don't think any, maybe it'd be a problem in
if he goes to create his own scrap metal,
that could be a problem, or the fact that if he starts hoarding copper, or that could be a problem because copper is valuable,
I can't remember if minor detail comes up in book 6 or not, but I feel like within Jury Rig he should start building things, snap things together and starts creating just stupid machines or whatever.
I feel like that might have partially been intentional. I mean, the name's Jury Rig, he's collecting scrap. He's gonna start doing something.
He's gonna start jury rigging things.
Okay, I just had a thought. What happened to Lewis's hoarding Brandon and Jeremy, or Lazy Scales?
Yeah, that seems to have got deleted with the Soul Rip because he just looks at Jeremy with so much contempt now.
But that was part of the dragon side, the dragon instinct that hoarded both people. And when Brandon and Jeremy came up, he just kind of scoffed at him. If you were I feared you'd be pretty excited to see your horde walk up, at least in my opinion.
Yeah,
and not threatening to kill them.
If it's supposed to be a chemical thing, like the fact that he put his scent on them is what triggers the horde, then 100% it should have re-triggered when they came up. My best guess is behind the scenes, between book 4 and 5, maybe they came to visit. He started to feel the instincts because his sense on him is like, wait, this is fucked up. And then, like, just out of propriety or whatever, just, like, disown them or something.
Would a dragon willingly unhoard something?
If it's something like people, which you want nothing to do with for whatever reason, possibly.
I don't know. I feel like that's akin to smoking. You can't just quit easily. That's a bad analogy. Cut that.
Smoking's bad, kids. I'm sorry.
But you get what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
That immediately put the entire song in my head. Thank you.
So easy to set off.
It is. That is one of the only South Park songs that is permanently burned into my brain. I was gonna say, please start talking before I start.
Yeah, before I start singing.
Speaking of singing, what's your opinion on the Rockstar?
Okay, Rocktooth. That's actually my next note. Rocktooth, I love him so damn much.
He is so unnecessary.
No, I love him. He is the best character, probably second to Lazy Scales himself. It's like, I want to build a D&D character based off of just a bard dragon that just does rock songs.
Yeah.
And it's like such a fucking showboating, like, pop dragon. I don't know what the terms would be. But
Rocktooth is my idealized, like desire in, like...
How would you know you didn't read the book?
Shut up. Because one of the initial concepts for Bantam was that I was going to be called I guess, like, in a sense of like a Lazy Scales name, my name would have been the Black Bard. And I got really, really addicted to the game Brutal Legend, and the idea of, taking a mundane object like an electric guitar into a magical world where your guitar is now imbued with magical properties. So when you hit a chord, it sends out a lightning bolt. When you strum it real hard, it creates a fireball or a fire geyser. It's like that. The concept of that was so enthralling to me that having a mythical or magical creature doing something that is mundane, like being the singer of a rock band, is like the coolest fucking thing ever.
Yeah. When they're trying to explain to Lazy Scales what a rock star is, because they're talking about how he's going to come to the reserve to learn how to be a dragon and blah blah blah. He's like, they explain what he does. He's like, so he's like a bard, and they're like, kind of. He doesn't like play any instruments. He just sings. So, and then he's like, so he's more like a minstrel then.
Is that?
And then Jeremy, that's from the book. Yeah, he's a minstrel. And then Jeremy's like, no, he's a rock star. Well, what's the difference? Presentation. Yeah. But yeah, so the petulant side of him aside, because he acts very childlike sometimes when he's like trying to learn how to fly or whatever. So take that aside. It's like, he's just such a charismatic individual. I just love him. Like, you both know my fascination with teeth, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Big, sharp teeth. Rocktooth smiles so damn much, and it's always described as, like, showing off his teeth and whatever, because I guess dragons don't smile, so when a dragon tries to smile, it's just, like, very, like, tooth-filled.
Like, canine-like?
Yeah, which is, like, I love that mental image. And then it's a lot of his dialogue. I love a lot of his dialogue. Like, when they first reveal that this band member has turned into a dragon, they're like, oh my god, Todd, is that really you? He's like, in the flesh scales and big pointy teeth, he says with like a smile. And I'm like, oh, I'm falling for him hard. And then later on, so the line I used to open the show, friends, neighbors, and delicious looking humans, that's another line he says when he's starting the press conference before a concert he's going to do. And it's like, any dragon that talks like that, immediately wins my heart. So good, you don't even understand. I need to get a picture of just Rocktooth just smiling. Put it on my wall. At one point, my notes are really shoddy. At one point, it's when they're trying to explain to Martha and Grace, because they're like, you still didn't tell us how you got back from Wales or whatever. And I think it's Jeremy, because I didn't bother putting names. Somebody says, you really wouldn't believe it. And then they just drop it. And I'm just like, just in general, I never understand when people do that in anything, books, movies, just dialogue from anything. Doesn't matter. The whole, you wouldn't believe it, or you wouldn't understand, and so they just drop it and don't bother explaining. It's like, is it really that hard to say, well, he lost part of his soul and his memories while turning off the spell that turned humans into dragons? And
Martha...
whether they believe it or not, who cares? You've given the explanation. Now they can stop thinking that you're trying to hide something from them.
Martha literally watched the cameras in the last book when they explained the whole dragon spell destroying humanity.
Yeah.
And
So
she
it's
flew with them, with the witch.
Is it really that hard to be like, oh yeah, he just lost his memories because of the magic that we had to deal with or something?
I don't think it's probably not the trying to explain it is the problem, but the consequences of, oh, this is a much more feral dragon than the harmless Lewis that we're used to dealing with.
I just never really understood the concept of you wouldn't believe it if I told you kind of deal.
I mean, you could say that, and I feel like personal justification, he was definitely doing that to protect Lazy Scales, if he still cared that much about Lazy Scales, because technically he's not really just the dragon, not Lewis.
It is kind of funny how at the beginning Jeremy's like, that's not Lewis anymore, that's a monster. Lazy Scales killed Lewis, and then, here's a little mini villain arc, right? And then now, like, he's come to terms with it, he's friends, he's accepted it, whatever. He's a much better person, but again, it's like, that's not Lewis anymore, that's Lazy Scales now. It's like, it's just such a weird return to, like, a previous mindset, but, like, in different circumstances. I found that humorous.
This guy was right all along.
Lewis is gone. Oh, yeah, and later on, Jeremy accidentally calls Lazy Scales, calls him Lewis, just, muscle memory, right?
Yeah.
And then Lazy Scales is just all angry, like, what did you just call me? And just super angry, and, like, everyone's like, uh-oh. It's like, you just dead named a dragon, how dare you?
Okay, but most of the plot, I don't know if that's going to consider jumping around or not, but most of the plot results about anything memory that comes out near Lewis causes a headache. Why doesn't the name trigger that?
Because he doesn't think about it too hard, he just immediately brushes it off because he doesn't accept it. I think all the memories that triggered in the future is stuff when he, like, sits there and tries to actually remember.
Maybe. I'm sorry, Gilmore, I don't mean to be poking holes in everything.
He's just trying to understand.
I'm a comprehender. Whenever I try to read or understand, I like to try to piece together parts of the world and then try to imagine, like even after I read the book, I can imagine different scenarios in that world, which is why I love Tooth and Claw so much.
Mm-hmm. Such a good book.
Oh, it's a great book, isn't it, Bantam?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It's also why Mating Fight is good.
No.
We'll agree to disagree.
Mating Flight was just way too much fantasy nonsense thrown in, like made up words that
you just didn't like the words.
I didn't like the words. A book where I'm like, okay, you're intentionally making me open up a thesaurus I'm already taken out.
But you're Wefo.
It was a skyscraper built for one floor.
To be fair, I mean, I am pretty consistent. I did not like it in Age of Fire either when they kept see and saw. That's stupid. Foreleg and back leg.
Fine.
It's not fine. It's stupid.
I like it, though. But it's different people, different tastes. It's okay. Dilettante, were you as queasy as Bantam was with a lot of the bloody scenes from the earlier books?
Not really. Like, I'm used... okay, Bantam, you know what? We gotta have a talk here. If you get queasy with the first two stories, but yet The Boys is one of your favorite shows...
Okay, no, listen, we
gotta talk about that.
No, you want to talk about it? I will explain, because I have explained it in the past, and you apparently forgot. When I am reading something, my imagination is now doing that to me. If I am reading a dragon tearing apart someone and drinking all their blood, I am now picturing that happening to me. When I'm watching a movie like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre or The Boys and watching someone get cut in half, I am watching character A do this to character B. I am not involved. I'm witnessing it. I'm the viewer. I'm standing off on the side watching this happen to someone else. Does not bother me. But when I am reading it, it is happening to me and it makes me sick. When you allow my imagination to become involved, that is when I start getting nauseous. But if you're showing it to me, it's fine. It doesn't bother me because I know that that's not happening to me. It's happening to someone else. The only exception to that being there have been a couple movies that have made me sick because it was just so realistic, or the sounds or the visuals. The only two things that I've ever is Dagon and the zombie Nazi movie Overlord, where a guy had sucking chest wounds in his chest, and the sound and hearing made me sick.
Well, I bring it up because this book is a return to form for bloodiness, which I kind of loved, but I was reading it, and then I got to a part where they were doing something, they were eating something, And then I started cackling because I'm like, oh my god, Bantam's gonna hate this.
Wait a minute. I wanted to talk to you about that scene, because that was the other one you said you thought was adorable, was one of the dragons eating the carcass, lifts it out, it's like a piece of
How
intestine.
is that not adorable?
It's not adorable.
They're just all sitting around the fire eating, and then they're like, look at Lucy over there, and she has her snout buried in the deer's belly, and then pulls the snout out, snout's covered in blood with a bit of intestines hanging down, and she just flips everybody off and goes back to eating. It's like, how is that not adorable?
Look,
I've seen like
I've seen like wolves go at a carcass, and when they lift up their bloody snout, that's not adorable.
That's not adorable.
That's
It's not adorable at all. Like I see a lot of videos of like lions, you know, and they lift their head up and their muzzle is entirely soaked in blood. That is not adorable in any way, shape, or form. Stay the fuck away from me.
I think it's adorable, and my favorite scene is still the one from book 2 where he eats the police officer. He rolls on his back and just drinks.
I feel like your mind's painting it as like this cartoony after show. This after effect.
If I saw it in real life, maybe I'd be grossed out. But like in my head, it's really adorable. And it's like, I want to just pat this little dragon on the snout.
Dilettante, the Meet the Pyro TF2 video. That's just Ray's mind. It's all candy and lollipops and rainbows and everyone cheering and laughing, and meanwhile he's committing war crimes.
You know, yeah, I could see that.
Oh, jeez.
Maybe I need a therapist.
Ray accidentally slices my belly open, and as my guts spill out, he's just in his mind. I'm just going, look, candy.
It's like a pinata.
Yeah. And I'm like, haha, eat the candy, Ray. Meanwhile, I'm screaming and trying to run. But
yeah, so just like, I just wanted to like point out just that scene, them sitting around and then just Lucy with the intestines, like, yeah, adorable to me. I just wanted to bring that up. I also wanted to ask you, Dilettante, and I would have asked Bantam if you'd read it. How do you like the explanation on why dragons don't feel empathy for prey animals? Do you need a refresher? Do you forget?
No, I remember. I'm just trying to remember how I felt while reading it.
While you're thinking, I'll explain to Bantam. Aurora, the new dragon on the block, asks, she's looking at the deer in her hand. She's like, why don't I feel bad about this? It was alive.
Okay,
and they kind of explain how, I think Jury Riggs says it, how he theorizes that it's just there's no room in our brain for empathy like that, because it's an evolutionary defense mechanism, because if we felt bad about killing animals, we would just starve.
Yeah, but I mean, like, even humans don't feel bad about killing animals half the time.
Yeah, that's the point Lady Scales brings up to Aurora. It's like, you ate meat as a human, didn't you? And she's like, well, yeah, but that was always like pre-killed and wrapped in plastic. It's like, I didn't ever get to see the animal. I didn't have to do it myself.
I mean, if you're if you're a human being out in the woods starving, and a deer walks up to you and you've got a gun, you're not going to feel bad. Your hunger is going to override that as a human. I mean,
no, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't agree with Aurora on that point, because how there's some farms out there where you can go and like kill and dress your own chicken. No,
you don't know that?
No, I wouldn't be able to.
There's a couple of farms out there that you can do it to chickens, and you might be able to do it to other small animals. I can't remember, but they let you kill it and clean it, like pluck the feathers, skin it, pull the organs out, whatever. Basically, start to finish your own food, basically.
No, thank you.
And it's that sounds like a fun outing.
No, it sounds like I'm gonna go to KFC and just cut out all that bullshit.
Listen, I'm taking you to a better chicken place than KFC. But no, I remember when I was reading that book, I always felt it was kind of unnecessary. Like, if I was in that situation and I didn't feel empathy for the thing I killed and ate, I don't think I would have noticed, to be honest. I would have been too focused on, like, oh, food. Finally, I'm getting full. This is delicious. I don't think I ever would have noticed, like eating meat. I tried venison for the first time a couple of years back, and I never really thought...
I want to try venison. How is it?
It's pretty good. I won't lie. It's got a nice zest to it. My cousin down the road, he can cook some meat, let me tell you.
I've unfortunately been very just mainstream, because it's just hard to get a hold of fancy meats, like where I live, I guess.
She's come down here, man.
I want to try gator, and I want to try snake. I want to try venison. I don't think I've ever had rabbit, so I want to try that.
Venison's got it's like a mild, I don't know if it's because of how he cooked it, but it's got like a mild, like, hybrid between pork and beef, like ham and beef for me.
I could even see myself trying cat or dog, just see what it's like.
But first, we need to take a moment here. I tried something Ray hasn't eaten yet.
Ooh. Only because it doesn't seem to be available here. Well, I don't know where to look, basically.
Go to Colorado. We were over there once. We saw like herds of deer just walking through people's yards. So someone's got some venison up there. But yeah, no. If I was in that situation, I don't think I would have noticed.
You'd be Lucy. Everyone's having this talk, and I'm like, why don't we feel sad for these things? And just talking about like morals and instincts, and then just like, look at Dilettante, and you're the one with the blood on your snout. Like, what? I'm eating. It's food.
Yeah, it's like the vegan in the room bringing it up.
They made that joke at the end of the scene too.
Yeah, I'm
It's
expecting it of the vegetarian dragon, like some Earth dragon with like a fucking like Triceratops.
Well,
like snouts.
Here's another like deviation into Wings of Fire. So you've read the first couple books. So Rain Wings are vegetarian by choice. They just like it's much easier to peel a banana than it is to hunt a monkey. So whatever. But there's another species from the third arc called Silk Wings, which literally 100% do not eat meat. Like they can't. It's not part of their diet. They can't digest it. And so they actually are vegetarian dragons. And when they see somebody else eat a prey animal, they're like, ah. It's really cute.
So many wings. I can't keep track.
Dilettante slowly joining my side of the bloody eating.
I'm not joining my side. I'm just trying to have a good meal.
Yeah, so you're just on my side, just automatically just...
I'm on my stomach side. I'm hungry.
Let's go hunting. Bring Bantam with us.
Yeah, a lot of my arguments for this book is a lot of stuff just seems unnecessary. And that's going to be a good talk. This is the majority of my talking points. There he has been.
You wanted to... Oh, okay. It's like, I don't know how to word this, which like... without thinking of examples, but like everything can have something that someone thinks is unnecessary. Like I could sit down and look at Star Wars, like The Mandalorian, this thing that you guys love, or Book of Boba Fett or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you 95% of that was unnecessary.
Yeah. No, 95% of it wasn't Boba Fett.
So it's like, but you guys still loved it, right?
Yes.
I will argue, Obi-Wan Kenobi, the series, was completely unnecessary because 95% of every character involved could not die. So they had all these spectacle fight scenes that led nowhere.
Yeah.
But yet it was still fun to... I haven't seen it, but I'm assuming it was fun to watch.
It was fun to watch.
Yeah, and like people loved it. So it's like, even though you say a lot of this dragon stuff is unnecessary, it's like, I still fucking loved it though.
That's your Obi-Wan Kenobi. You enjoy it.
Okay. Yeah, I will.
Okay.
But not everybody does.
Exactly.
Because
well, fuck you.
even on the Reddit, people were complaining every episode. This felt unnecessary. This was bullshit. Why
I was
did
actually
this
pretty
happen?
divided.
Yeah, people either absolutely loved Obi-Wan or they fucking hated it. I loved it because it's yay lightsabers. That Red Letter Media video, the TIE Fighter, ATST. Yeah, like that's me. I clapped when Darth Vader showed up. It's like, yeah, that's me. I do that. I just like having things I like being shown to me.
Dude, if you guys are swimming in the Star Wars pool, I'm sitting on the edge just having my feet dipped and like, this is kind of nice, I guess, right? But it's like, even just with that little bit of exposure, I played, what's the newest game? It's not Force Awakens,
Fallen Order.
Fallen Order. I played Fallen Order, and I guess spoilers to Fallen Order at the end when... I guess I'll try to be vague. At the end when he shows up and it's like, oh... I felt that. I don't have enough like Star Wars lore, like whatever, but it's like I still felt that.
So to go back, if we're in the Star Wars pool, you're actually in the adjacent Star Wars jacuzzi with all the old men who only like the politics. They only like Ray only likes the prequels.
I'm in the kiddie pool of the prequels.
Yeah.
Everybody else, there's a whole crowd at the edge
with
shouting memes.
With all the kids saying Roger, Roger as they run around in circles.
The battle droids were the best.
That's okay. I visit you over there because I love Jar Jar Binks.
Hold on. Yeah. Back on topic.
Okay, there's two things I actually do want to talk about. First, the relationship building up between Lazy Scales and Aurora.
Loved it. Adorable. Shipped them 100%.
Okay, I will, but again, they could have done a little something else. They could have done.
They could have fucked what?
That's like I'm thinking about. Yeah, they are like the equivalent of like what 5 years old human wise. They can't return until 60.
So the literal human age is I think is 16. I can't remember how old Lewis was when he transformed, but in dragon terms, they're a quarter of the way to their maturity. I think. Because it said they reach full maturity at 60 or something.
So it's like middle school level of like you kiss on the cheek every once in a while and everyone's like, whoa, they're dating.
I guess, but keep in mind that that's just their bodies. Their minds are still as developed as a human mind would be. So it's like Jury-Rig was 27, right? And he at one point he says like, I have so much energy. And they're like, what do you mean? It's like, well, I was 27, but ever since I transformed, I've had so much energy.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Like, yeah, he basically, like, as far as the body is concerned, he went from 27 to 15, basically, right? Because he's half maturity in dragon terms. But, like, even then, he still is fully, like, mature, like, mentally. Like, if he, I don't know, we're going to start scooting on some dangerous territory of age of consent and stuff. Even though he's not in a full-grown body, I consider him full-grown because he went through life and was 27 already. It's just it's the mess you get when you have different maturity rates.
Part of me is like kind of mad how Lewis or how Lazy Scales kind of handled it, because he just kept repressing the feelings he was having, and I'm like, dude,
it actually felt very middle school like. Why do I feel so weird? Why do I feel warm and butterfly when I'm around her? It's like, I guess to be fair, they were still technically kids. Maybe he never had a crush in high school or whatever, but it's like, it's a little wonky. Also, I guess to be super fair, he did have his human memories ripped out, so maybe he literally doesn't know what he's feeling.
Surely would have some concepts. Like,
I don't know.
Natural instincts.
He's under the effects of a soul rip, okay? Who knows?
I guess. It would have been better if he, like, halfway through just start breaking out into some, like, ancient draconian mating dance, and everyone's wondering what the fuck he's doing. Like, out of pure instinct.
They were looking at the book.
Although I do admit, during the concert, when Aurora draped her wing over Lazy Scales, that was absolutely 100% precious.
It was so precious. Oh my god, I love them both so much. Oh, it gives me life.
It gives me life.
It does give me life. Aurora's dad, though. This is my note where we talk about Aurora's dad.
Okay, this one.
Bantam, how do you feel about Aurora's dad?
I hate her. Oh, I hate him. Oh, it's the worst.
You don't even know.
It is like it's the worst dad trying to win the worst dad award. He is trying so hard.
The thing is,
Felt forced?
I have a wonderful family. And I've only known people who have at least decent families.
I have a family.
So I don't know how bad it can get. I don't know if it actually can, if this is realistic. I don't know. I don't have that experience and I don't have that knowledge. So when I say it felt over the top, I hope it was over the top and people don't actually have to deal with that, because that's really sad if they do.
It can sometimes feel like if you're trapped in a situation like that, your mind can construct. Sometimes it will feel as bad as how it's perceived here.
Yeah, it's like so I don't want to like upset anyone by saying it felt over the top, but I just want to use the term it felt over the top. But that was a good thing because it made it so gratifying because of how over the top it was. Kind of like the conservative news and radio bit. Aurora's dad. I hate him as a person. He is a terrible person.
Well, that was the goal of him, I believe.
Yes, that's like everyone should hate him as a person, right? But I love him as a character, as a literary tool. I love him.
He's so one-dimensional.
But that's fine. That's all he needs to be.
He's a one-dimensional tool.
He's a villain who's been turned up to 11, so it makes it very easy to hate him. The first interaction between him and Lazy Scales when they're dropping off Aurora. Actually, it felt like a very ingenious Save the Cat scene, which was just beautiful. Mwah, right? Loved that. And then all of that kind of just feeds into the second meeting where I wish he would have died, honestly. But it just made that entire scene with the new Dragon Slayers just so cathartic. It was like, oh, it's good shit.
Those new Dragon Slayers, I wanted to ask you, are they the same company that had the old Immortal one?
Yes.
Okay.
Dayton was the guy that went up to the mountains in the first book, kind of like walked in on them playing Xbox and got his ribs broken and driven back to town by Brandon.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So a lot of them were part of Lambton's old group. But yeah. But another reason I love that scene, it's another bloody scene that Bantam probably won't like because it mentions brain matter at some point, I think. But it's like Lazy Scales just goes and saves Aurora, and they kill in defense of their territory, which is beautiful. They even have a bit of time where they talk like Martha's not going to like this, and Lazy Scales is she won't find out if there's no bodies to find or something like that. He says that like while licking his lips or whatever, which is just fun. But the point is like, Martha shouldn't care. One of them says Martha shouldn't care because this is in defense of our territory and defense of like one of our, like they are intruding, they brought weapons and they're trying to kidnap a dragon. Like that, 100% kill them. That's like full self-defense, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So they do that. They self-defense. Becca uses magic to like disable 3 of the hunters and kind of just holding them. And then Lazy Scales kills Dayton and like takes half his body and just starts like eating it, gives the other half to Aurora and she starts eating it. Just nonchalantly, hey, I'm gonna eat a person. She doesn't even like ask. She just like picks it up and starts
I thought it was
chewing
throwing a moonshot at Aurora.
Well, she gave half the body to Aurora and then pulled a leg off of the other guy to throw to Moonshadow. And even she was one of the people who was so against Lazy Scale Lewis at the beginning, eating people, like, you can't do that. And here she is, eating someone's leg. Granted, the kill was not like, they weren't hunting, it was self-defense, so I think it's okay. And, just leaving the body would have been a complete waste. So, like, yes, of course, eat it, right?
Yeah.
Put it to use. But it's just like, the fact that these 2 other dragons partook of the human flesh just is such an important moment for me. And I just loved it. And then so Becca's still holding on to these 3 people with her fiery magic hands. And she's like, what do I do with these guys? And Lazy Scale's like, you know what needs to be done. And she's like, and then just kills them. Just so nonchalantly, it's like, oh, I love that. It's very cathartic and I just loved it. Gold star.
Ray is now on my watch list.
I'm on several watch lists at this point, probably.
He's been on several of my watch lists. Speaking of violence, how about that concert?
How about the dragon-sized coffee cup? But yeah, the concert. Ugh. I love the concert. Chapter 24. It's my favorite chapter.
It was so needless.
No, it wasn't. It's so good. When I read the book the first time, I actually stopped and reread that chapter. I'm not kidding, 4 times. And I went to bed one day and I brought the book with me and I just reread that one chapter right before bed because it's a good bedtime story chapter.
What?
Answer for context.
No, I read that. I read that.
I told him if you can't read the book, that's okay. At least read chapter 24. Here's the TLDR for it to make sense of what led up to it. But at least read chapter 4 because it's my favorite and we're going to talk about it a lot on the show. So he read that chapter.
Yeah, bedtime.
That's your bedtime chapter?
All right, that's it.
Oh,
He's
so
getting 2
good.
exclamation points and several underlines on his name on the list now.
Red ink. Use red ink.
Like, I'm not kidding. It's that chapter. Like, if this book was like an 8 out of 10, like, it's kind of fillery, but I love the interactions. I love the new Lazy Scales, and I love what they did with Jury Rig, and I love Rocktooth. It's like, if this book was just an 8 out of 10, that chapter pushed it to 11 out of 10. That's how much I loved this chapter.
It was so easily preventable, though.
That's what makes it so good. It's his own
It makes it frustrating.
No, that was makes it so good. It's his fault. It's his hubris. It's his like, no, I can't eat before a show because I'll get gassy. And now he's lost his mind and he's killed his friends. And then he sits there, he gets pinned down and he kind of like comes to and he's like, what did I do? Oh my God. And then Lazy Scales just like, finish it. And just gives him the other bodies and he just starts like still like sobbing but just eats them because we don't waste food.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's so good.
Calm down. Just calm down.
It's like when you catch your kid smoking, you make him smoke a whole pack of cigarettes.
That's the first thing that came to my mind when I was reading that. Like, this is some weird-ass punishment.
You just murdered your friends, now finish them.
Yes. And the thing he's sitting there, like, chewing on one bite, is like, why don't I feel bad about this? And it's like, because they're just food now. They after you killed them, they stopped being people. And just, like, I guess another, like, bullet point on the dragon empathy thing and how you guys feel about that, but just, oh, the whole chapter was so good.
Calm down.
Does it feel warm in here?
Now, what did he, as far as why he lost control, is this a behavior that they established earlier in the book that he did when he was human too? He never eats before a show?
Yes, he never eats before a show because he doesn't want to get gassy and burp while he's singing.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's not like maybe he just I'd give him the benefit of the doubt that he wasn't doing it maliciously, like...
No, of course not. He ordered a pony, and that's when I would let into the whole talk of, like, why don't I feel bad killing this animal kind of deal, right?
Yeah.
That was 3 days before the show. Then they just got stupidly busy. So like I said, the whole point of the book is trying to make sure the reserve can function. They ran out of funding. Crystal's research grant dried up because with more dragons showing up in the world, the university's like, there's no point. We can just go find one. We don't need to pay for exclusive rights for the last dragon on Earth anymore. So they're not going to be able to afford to restock the mountain with food. There are now 4 at the time of the discussion, but there are now 6 dragons living on this mountain, with more coming because Lazy Scales is like, all dragons who want to come, you should come and I will teach you. And they're like, what the fuck, Lazy Scales, we can't afford this. So the whole plot of the book is how are we going to get the reserve to function. Rocktooth over here is like, how about we have a relief concert? We hold a concert, the first Rockstar Dragon, right? Mm-hmm. And all the funds go to the reserve. And that's kind of what leads to this concert in chapter 24.
God, can you imagine?
Where was I going with this?
Can you imagine the irony of being like this? The other humans that got killed in this band, where they're like, "We're gonna perform essentially for free for a benefit concert to feed you, and then you get murdered and eaten."
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, they all loved each other. They even after turning to a dragon, they were happy to see him. Like, they were happy to be playing. That was like established at some point. But so Rocktooth overhears this and starts setting it up, and because the funding dries up in a week, there's like busy, go, we need to get this concert going. So because of that, he doesn't have the opportunity to like go off and hunt or to get food or whatever. And then before the concert is when he does the hello friends, neighbors, and delicious looking humans. And the crowd laughs like, ha ha ha, good dragon joke, right? And they do the press conference, Lazy Scales gives a speech, and then when they're heading inside to actually do the concert, Lazy Scales is like, hey, you said they were all delicious looking. When was the last time you ate? It's like, last time I saw you eat was that pony 3 days ago. It's like, I guess that was the last time, huh? I don't know, she's been so busy. So you should go eat right now. Oh no, I never eat before a show. I don't want to be gassy. And then things go downhill real fast.
Yeah.
But like, yeah.
Yeah.
There's only so many ways I can say I love this chapter.
I want to challenge you. You're going to have to find them all.
It's funny because like my notes for this is just chapter 24. That is all. That's what I wrote for my notes on this, because it's like I can just talk about this for like hours. I don't need to leave myself notes. That's just how good it was. DM, good job. I love it. This was like one, again, played around with the idea of like, what if we like did dramatic readings of things? The first idea was the Great Moot from Golden Treasures. Like this chapter 24 was another idea. It's like, if we did dramatic readings, this would be one of the things that I think we could do a reading on. That's just how much I want to immortalize this.
Immortalize a dragon rampaging, stepping on one of his friends and then biting the head off of another?
It's more for the interaction between Lazy Scales and Rocktooth as he starts coming to.
The fight?
Not so much the fight, the talking.
Oh.
The we don't waste food, finish it kind of bit.
The fight was really well done too.
Yeah, it was. Book's strong points usually aren't fights because you can't really show off choreography in word form, but it was pretty good.
Yeah, I've never actually found a fight in reading that I've enjoyed yet.
The other note I have is just dragons with jobs. Because when they were trying to brainstorm of ways to make money for the reserve, one of the options was the dragons could get jobs, and they could just pay for their own food. And
flat no.
Like, absolutely not. It's like, I agree, dragons should not be required to have jobs, right? Dragons should not have to worry about human capitalism and all that. Yeah? However, I feel like if they wanted to, like if Jury wanted to go and like work on a construction site and take home scrap metal, fine. Rocktooth wants to continue being a rock star? Okay, great. They should be allowed to interact that way if they want to, because I love the idea, and like this image came to me when he was teaching Rocktooth how to fly, and he was like, let's go to the stadium or whatever, because they need to like set things up. So it's like just the idea of this colony of dragons living in the mountains near a town, and just like every now and then a couple of them just fly down to town to just interact, whether it's because they want to purchase food or because they want to meet some friends or they want to just whatever. It's not full on integration because they still live separately, but just those interactions is the kind of stuff that I live for when I read books that involve humans and dragons together. I guess that's why I like Rocktooth so much, is because he actually kind of lives in both worlds, or did until the end of this book, at least, anyway. Just a dragon doing human things, interacting with humans, and getting along fine. It's like that. I love.
We saw how well that worked out.
Yeah, again, his own fault, and it has to do with the whole concept of getting hungry, losing your mind, which I guess I just need to touch on real fast. I've always been like against mind control, but like this is okay. It doesn't feel like terrible mind control, because even though you lose control, it is 100% within your power to prevent it.
Okay, so real quick, I want to circle back to you don't believe dragons should have jobs. Absolutely they should. If they are fucking inconveniencing everyone around them and forcing other people to spend money just to feed them under the threat of, or you die, yes, dragons should fucking have jobs. The fuck?
If I were to wake up as a dragon, I don't want to have a job.
Well, that's too bad. I'm not going to be
true.
able to afford to eat. I'm not going to be able to afford to feed you.
Well, no, that's because I would go hunt in the mountains or something.
What job would pay enough to feed a dragon? That's the real
also
question.
part of it too. It's like using human standards of monetary compensation. The dragon with a job would do very little. It would be pathetic.
What jobs could they do?
Well,
I mean, it actually could be a welder, but that's not like the only thing.
Heavy lifting on a construction site that has enough space for them to move around, I guess.
I mean, keep in mind,
Park ranger.
Keep in mind how slow a crane is lifting like things around, moving stuff around on a construction site. A dragon could just pick it up and move it. Like that would be worth the money alone. That a crane can bring stuff up super, super high, but moving construction equipment around on the ground floor, a dragon would be super invaluable because it would be really quick and really precise.
If there's no space for him to move around, because like he couldn't do that in New York. New York is too compact.
I mean, they still get construction equipment in and out.
They have to build it on site. They disassemble those giant cranes and build them on the construction sites. You can't do that with a dragon.
Build the dragon on site.
Shut you down with logic.
I have a quick little heart symbol just next to dragon sashes when they were trying to get costumes for the show, right? The merchandise. Just because I like dragons with clothes. It's just a fun image.
Nah,
like,
I'm a lazy skeleton.
Obviously, they're not gonna wear t-shirts and jeans, obviously, but like sashes, pauldrons.
But
hats.
listen, Mr. Gilmore, you missed a very, very opportune moment here to describe how a dragon would wear a pair of jeans. It has been a product of debate for centuries. Missed opportunity. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. And then we get to the end. Rocktooth is essentially under house arrest because murder. But he surrenders his funds, his value, his assets, whatever. I don't know what the term is.
His net worth.
His net worth. Thank you.
You're
he
welcome.
surrenders his net worth to the reserve, which is like several like 100 million or something. I remember the exact
15 million.
It was 15 million. So the reserve is fine. Yay! Everything worked out in the end. So the reserve is gonna be fine. Rocktooth is sad, but he'll get over it. He's just said he can't be a rock star. He's not sad he killed the people. He said he can't be a rock star anymore, which I think they actually point out.
Well, when he was during the weird ass punishment, he was more sad he couldn't finish the show.
Yeah, exactly. And like he was like appalled with himself. Like the fact that he's aware that the fact that that's what he's worried about, rather than I just killed my friends, is really like weird for him. Which is, I don't know, dysphoric maybe. It's just worth pointing out. But the other thing at the end I just want to bring up is just Firefly and Flesh Ripper.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about those two.
They're adorable. They just two baby dragons just tumble out of this frazzled looking woman's car because she can't handle them because they're a handful, and they're just adorable. And one's like, I want to rip and tear things apart. Ah!
To be raised.
Oh my god, that's still Tannis, a baby dragon.
No, that's Vanna.
You all know specifically the rip and tear being like a Doom thing.
Oh,
I wouldn't rip and tear.
They're just adorable. They're precious, and I want to see more of them. Anything else you guys want to bring up?
Not that I can think of.
Bantam, how about you?
Just that I love Rocktooth now.
After explaining all this?
Well, I mean, I did read a couple chapters in the beginning and a couple chapters in the end, so it's like I like it's a very soft spot for me that I love, like rock star personas I pretty much anything that has a rock star in it, I love them. Especially if they use, like in RPG terms, if anyone's ever played Chrono Cross, there was a rocker who used music in his attacks. There's Brutal Legend. Basically, just love the concept of mixing music with extreme violence.
If I ever get to play a game where the DM allows me to be a dragon, I'm gonna play Rocktooth. If that never happens, then next to my DM, I'm gonna have an NPC that's basically just Rocktooth. That's just how much I love him.
And this is gonna make sense to literally no one but Ray. But when I created Bantam the Black Bard, and I started designing custom guitars based on what types of attacks he was gonna do, and I got told that was cringe.
It kind of is.
It is not. You cannot love Rocktooth and then call.
Yeah, no, you really can't, Ray.
No. The cringe aspect was a unique guitar for every special attack.
No, it wasn't for every special attack. It was depending on, like, the idea is that, like, if Bantam is going to war and he's got his army, and he wants to basically just win but take prisoners, not kill, then he would use this guitar because he's not going all out. Like, he's
got an armory that looks like a band closet.
Essentially, yeah. And it's like, but if there was like a kingdom that wronged him and killed the people he loved or something, and he wanted to just erase them off the fucking map, then there was a different guitar he would use. And the music that he would play would be themed off of that band. Like, that it wasn't that he, like, pulls out a guitar, plays a chord to shoot a lightning bolt, and then pulls out a different guitar. No.
The enemies. Oh god, he's got the flying V.
Well, essentially, that's what it would be. Yeah, it's like, if you ever see him holding this guitar, fucking run. Because he's not taking prisoners. He's not doing this to prove a point. He's doing this to just murder you. That was the whole concept. But no, I got told I was cringe.
That was also like 6 years ago. I'm allowed to change my opinions as I grow.
Then you have to apologize.
You can't change your opinions in this day.
I apologize, and I withdraw my accusations of cringe.
I immediately just puff up. I'm super happy. Thank you. I accept your apology. I love you.
Pat, 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 pat.
Pat, 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 pat.
Alright, so nothing else to bring up?
No.
Nope. Alright.
Shannon is the best manager. Just want to say that.
She was pretty good. Just appears out of nowhere and everyone's like, ah. But yeah, alright, so thank you for joining us. Bantam, where can they find us?
I recently unpinned that from our conversation, so now I gotta find it again.
Oh no! Why would you unpin it?
I think it was an accident.
You done fucked up?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it.
So Dillaton, where can they find us?
They could find us at official WADPod on Twitter. Our email is... Bantam, what's our email?
I think it's WADPodcast.
Yeah,
mail.
hold on.
It is, actually. You email us at wadpodcastmail@gmail, correct?
Okay,
Yeah.
I found it.
Okay.
Hold on.
All right, so thank you for joining us to discuss the fifth book in the Lazy Scale series, Kindled Flames. Bantam, where can they find us?
Oh, I didn't find it. So
shit.
our you can email the show at wadpodcastmail@gmail.com. Our Twitter is @officialwadpod, and we do have a Patreon at World of Dragons Podcast.
All right. We hope to hear from you guys if you enjoyed it, if you want to scream at us because you don't understand how Chapter 24 can be a bedtime story. Next week not next week. God damn, it's so easy to just say next week. Next episode, we'll be finishing up the first arc with Book 6, Beating Wings. A book that I have a very weird love-hate relationship with. It's kind of gonna suck, guys.
Where you love the character you hate the most.
No, it's where I love half of the book, but the other half just absolutely disgusts me. It's like such rage, and this should never have happened in the first place. You'll see when we get there. It's all valid.
Okay.
You're valid.
I don't know if I can like tease without like completely spoiling it, but like, you'll see.
You'll all see.
So thanks for coming, and we'll see you all next time.
Goodbye.
Bantam, say goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Why are you so distracted?
I'm trying to find the pin. I don't understand. I searched everything.
Make a new pin, I guess.
I'm gonna have to.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Goodbye, people.
Bye.